You might think running a successful restaurant is all about menus, marketing, and sales. Wrong. It's really about defeating the four demons that are holding you back. These demons are sneaky, relentless, and they will keep you stuck right where you are unless you face them head on. Stick around because we're not only going to call them out, we're going to battle them, and I'm going to give you the weapons that you need to win this fight. And welcome to the Restaurant Coach Podcast. It is the cure for the common restaurant. I'm Donald Burns, the restaurant coach, author of the Your Restaurant Sucks trilogy, Savage Restaurant Success, creator of the TRC method, and founder of Warrior Restaurants. Look, I can hand you all the tools you need to run a successful restaurant. That's the easy part. You want templates? I got them. Checklists? No problem. Forms, manuals, spreadsheets, they are everywhere, and they're also a dime a dozen. But here's the thing, all those tools don't mean squat if you don't have the right culture. And culture, you know what I'm going to say, culture comes from you. And it's not just something that you can copy and paste from a template. It's got to be authentic, it's got to be real, and it has to flow from the top down, starting with you. Now, before we dive into culture, let's talk about the four demons that are blocking your path to greatness. These aren't little annoyances. These are the things that keep you playing small, living in survival mode, and never quite reaching your full potential. We're going to expose them, and more importantly, I'm going to show you how to conquer them once and for all. The first demon we're tackling is ego. When your ego runs the show, it's like you're a horse with blinders on. You're not open to new ideas, new strategies, or even constructive feedback. You see the world as black and white. People are either with you or against you. Sadly, that's dangerous territory. Trust me, I have been there. I was a total jerk when I opened my first restaurant, and it cost me big time. My first business mentor, my first business coach, Peter, he gave me the best advice I ever received. Drop your ego or you're going to go down alone. So what is the ego really? Well, it's part of your mind that's designed to protect you, to ensure your survival. But when the ego gets out of control, it starts running the show. It becomes the master scriptwriter of your life, turning everything into a drama. It's kind of like having a bad director who turns every scene into a tragedy. So let me break it down for you. The ego is tied to that fight or flight part of your brain, the limbic system. It's been with you since the day you were born. As a baby, your ego was your protector. It made sure that when you cried, you were hungry, you got fed. It helped you learn that if you smiled, you got cuddled. It was all about survival back then. But here's the thing, as you grew older, those survival tactics started to backfire. You cried, but this time no one came. So you cried harder, maybe threw a fit, and maybe they gave in, or you learned to manipulate to get what you wanted. And guess what? That's when your ego started writing the script for how you handle challenges as an adult. As adults, we've seen it all happen. People throwing tantrums in the kitchen, lying to cover up mistakes, manipulating others to get their way. I mean, that's the ego at work. And here's the thing, it's toxic. The ego triggers old emotional patterns, pulling you back into behaviors that served you as a child, but are destructive now. So how do you conquer your ego? The first step is awareness. Recognize when your ego is taking over, and then tell your ego to go sit down and shut up. I mean, that's right. Tell it to shut the fuck up. You're in control now, not your ego. Next, let's talk about pride. Now, pride is tricky because a little pride is actually a good thing. When it's balanced with humility, pride can actually motivate you to do your best, take pride in your work, and strive for excellence. But when pride gets out of control, it's just like the Hulk, smashing everything in sight. It destroys relationships, blinds you to your own faults, and actually makes you think you're better than everyone else. So there are two kinds of pride, healthy pride and unhealthy pride. Healthy pride is about self-confidence. It's knowing your worth, understanding your capabilities, and feeling good about your achievements. But the unhealthy pride, that's a whole different beast. Unhealthy pride is all about arrogance, about putting yourself above others, about needing to be right all the time. People with healthy pride are secure in themselves. They don't need to brag or boast. They just do their thing, and here's the thing, they do it well. They have strong, fulfilling relationships because they work with others, not against others. They're confident but cooperative, assertive but not aggressive. On the other hand, people with unhealthy pride are constantly trying to prove themselves. They're driven by deep-seated insecurity, a need to show the world how great they are because deep down, they don't believe in themselves. This kind of pride leads to arrogance, looking down on other people, and pushing people away. But here's the real kicker. Pride and ego often go hand in hand. Your ego tells you you're the best, and your pride backs it up by making you believe that you don't need anyone else. But that's a lie. Everyone needs support. Everyone needs guidance, and sometimes a harsh reality check. When pride takes over, you lose sight of that and you end up isolating yourself. To conquer pride, you've got to practice humility. Acknowledge that you don't know everything, that you're not perfect, and here's the thing, that's okay. Be open to feedback, to learning, and to growing. And most importantly, be willing to say, I was wrong, I need help. That is true strength. All right, let's move on to denial. Denial is very, very dangerous. It is the demon that keeps you stuck in the past, repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again. Denial is when you refuse to face reality, whether it's about your team, your business, or maybe even yourself. If you're not willing to confront the truth, how can you change? How can you grow? Denial keeps you blind to the toxicity of your team, to the unresolved issues in your past, and to the challenges that you're currently facing. It's like having a festering wound that you refuse to treat. It just gets worse, spreading its poison until it's too late to do anything about it. Denial also shows up in the stories we tell ourselves, like, it's not my fault. I'm fine. I don't need help. This is just the way things are. Now, see, these are lies we tell ourselves to avoid dealing with the hard stuff. But here's the truth. Until you face reality, you are never going to get what you want out of life. So how do you conquer denial? First, you gotta get real with yourself. Take a hard look at your life, your business, and your relationships. Where are you lying to yourself? What are you avoiding? Now, once you identify the areas where denial is at play, it's time to take action. Seek support if you need it, whether it's in the form of a mentor, a coach, or a trusted friend. And remember, acknowledging the problem is the first step to solving it. And finally, let's talk about that last demon, mediocrity. If you listen to my podcast, read any of my books or blogs, then you know I am 100% against mediocrity. It's the real reason that the restaurant industry is stuck in a survival mode instead of thriving. Mediocrity has become the standard. You see, it's not that we have too many restaurants, it's that we have way too many average restaurants addicted to mediocrity. So, why do people get stuck in mediocrity if they know it's bad? I mean, the reason is simple. They refuse to fail. They're so afraid of failure that they never push themselves to their full potential. They play it safe, stick to what they know, and settle for good enough. But here's the thing. People aren't finished when they're defeated. They're finished when they quit. People equate failure with rejection, and that's a big mistake. Failure is a necessity. It is part of the success journey. It's only through failure that we learn, that we grow, that we improve. We're conditioned from a young age to be afraid of failure, to avoid it at all costs, but that's a trap. When you avoid failure, you avoid growth. You stay stuck in your comfort zone, never ever reaching for more. So how do you break free from mediocrity? First, you got to embrace failure. See it as a teacher, not an enemy. Because when you fail, don't see it as a defeat, see it as a lesson. What went wrong? What can you do better next time? Use failure as a stepping stone to success. Second, you need to have a plan, but don't get too attached to it. Life is unpredictable and things don't always go according to plan. That's why it's essential to be flexible, to adapt, and to adjust as you go. Success isn't just about sticking to the plan no matter what. It's about being smart enough to change course when you need to. And finally, you need to understand your core values. Mediocrity thrives when you don't know what's really important to you. If you're chasing the wrong things like money, power, or approval, you're setting yourself up for failure. True success comes from living according to your core values, from pursuing what really matters. So to wrap it all up, if you can get control of these 4 demons, ego, pride, denial, and mediocrity, you have a real shot at rising to levels you never thought possible. These demons are tricky, but here's the thing, they're not invincible. With awareness, humility, honesty, and a willingness to fail, you can conquer them all. Hey, before you go, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. We're all in this together, and together we can rise above the average. So, are you ready to break free from the chains of burnout and unlock the full potential of your restaurant? Head over to therestaurantcoach.com now and watch a short film that dives deeper into the transformative power of my unique blend of the Warrior's Way and my TRC method. Gain exclusive insights from my 45 years of experience in the restaurant industry and discover how you can reclaim your passion, your purpose, and your profitability. Don't settle for mediocrity. It's time to thrive. Visit therestaurantcoach.com now and take that first step towards a brighter future for your restaurant. This is your moment. Let's go.